Hey guys, what's up? It's Robbie with Open World Games, and we're going to talk about all things Tom Clancy's The Division in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you guys about Dumb and Dumber 2. So I finally got to sit down and watch Dumb and Dumber 2, and it was downright hilarious. It is out right now on DVD and Blu-ray. It stars Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey, who reprise their roles as our favorite dumbest characters, Harry and Lloyd. Let's just say I like it a lot. So if you want to find out more, be sure to click on the annotation on the screen and check out the link in the description for behind the scenes content and trailers. It's so good to see Harry and Lloyd back. So hello there my fellow agents. Yes, we're talking about Tom Clancy's The Division. As usual, if this video ends up being a little bit long, go ahead and use the guide in the description to skip ahead to the information you seek. And we're going to be talking about GDC 2015 and a bunch of other things today, and also your top comments. So I've got an image here, and it is basically confirmation that Ubisoft Massive is going to be at GDC 2015 March 2nd through the 6th. Previously in my videos of The Division, I talked about how it is a rumor that they would be showing something at GDC 2015. Well, now we've got the senior technical director on The Division and the lead level designer both at the GDC 2015 conference talking about The Division. So this is a really good sign. We will definitely be seeing a gameplay trailer of The Division. I really hope that's something amazing. Perhaps we would see multiplayer PvP. We really haven't seen much of that at all. I'm hoping that they show us exactly how the seamless dark zones work in the open world. So if you're like me, you're probably a little bit worried that The Division will be delayed to 2016. Well, good news. The official Division Facebook page came out and replied to a fan and said, The Division is definitely happening in 2015. Now, let's say that it did get delayed because Ubisoft, they don't seem to be afraid of delaying games. Well, the worst date that we can expect for The Division to release is March of 2016, because in an investor's call, they said Assassin's Creed, The Division, and the latest Rainbow Six Siege titles are all still on course for the release by the end of its next fiscal, which ends March 31st, 2016. So anywhere from here up until March 31st, 2016 is going to be the release window for The Division, and that comes from Ubisoft. Please, Ubi, do not be cruel to us. We really want The Division under the Christmas tree this year.
We do. We really do.
So Gamereactor did an interview with the creative director on The Division. I'll include a link in the description, of course, so you guys can check it out for yourselves. But they went into a bunch of details, including wildlife, the world being persistent, the underground, and so much more. But what was interesting is when they spoke about the wildlife, there will be stray dogs in the game. We saw those in the original E3 2013 demonstration. I cannot believe that came out basically 2 years ago. But anyway, they went on to say that it's unlikely that you would have your own dog in the game. You really don't want to worry about dogs, but it sounds like dogs like this will be a threat in the game. But they also mentioned how humans would need the food, not the dogs. So that's really interesting. It does sound like that on some level there is going to be some sort of survival mechanic running in the background of the game. With that being said, in the interview. Now, they went on to say the world is in fact persistent. So what this means is when you shut off your console, or when you are not looking, a block away, down the street, what could be happening is factions, weather, and wildlife will all still be going on and interacting with one another. They have built a complete ecosystem that interacts with one another. So it's going to be really cool to see. I'm hoping that we see faction wars going on between AI, and you just run into and you get to decide who is going to survive and what side you will take. So I really do hope that this is something they implement in the game for sure. Now, what about the underground? They went into more details about the underground. It sounds like it is going to be a very important part to The Division, because subways are going to be one way you can actually travel through the game. They talked about subways, utilities, and service tunnels. This is actually an area they went to when they came here to Manhattan in real life. They mentioned how the underground is going to be a warmer place where people will be taking refuge. This is going to be a place where you're going to find, I believe, a lot of NPCs and a lot of people huddled in the tunnel. So I think you're going to be finding a lot of trade to be doing down underground. So I cannot wait to go underground. It's like a whole other city within a city, that's for sure. And now it's time for your top comments. Indeedy. So the first one comes from Industrial Gamer. Hey man, what's up? And he says, really looking forward to The Division. Ubisoft has to really regain our trust though after last year. Great video, Robbie. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the video, and yes, I do agree that Ubisoft has to regain our trust. The big one for me was Assassin's Creed Unity. I felt like it was a fiasco at launch. I'm really crossing my fingers that they offer more betas and alphas like that for games like The Division and anything that's really online intensive. But I have high hopes for The Division and Assassin's Creed Victory after reading up on who's actually working on the game. So that is looking to be good news for those games.
Good news indeed.
Alicio Alien says, The Division has guns?
What? It's got guns?
Yes, The Division has guns. Many guns. In fact, Redstorm Entertainment is going to be taking the helm when it comes to weapons and gun customization. I'm hoping that we see something like Ghost Recon Future Soldier, but imagine this system in an open world. It's going to be quite incredible. Ah, another one. Longshots asked, will there be a first-person mode, and should there be one? That is a good question. There should be one, especially if the Oculus Rift takes off. If this takes off in 2015, and I'm hearing that it's coming out fall 2015, then a lot of us will want a first-person mode, especially when the Oculus Rift becomes more affordable to everyone. Can you imagine exploring The Division in complete, utter immersion? Now, of course, the big thing for me is first and foremost, The Division is a third-person shooter. There should always be an option to switch between third person and first person. And finally, the Oculus Rift is going to be very expensive when first released. So that's also going to contribute to the factor of a first person view. At first, I don't think we'll see one. I'd be very surprised if we hear about one. Maybe later down the road they would implement one, especially when VR becomes a true reality in-game. Operation Titan asks, when at your base of operations can you meet up with your faction members and upgrade your base to have better fortifications and extensions? Also, will there be moments where you're inside an apartment building, find a family and decide to kill and steal their stuff, give them supplies, or take them to your base of operations? So this question is all about the base of operations. It sounds like you will be able to meet with faction members in the base of operations. I would think that you would also be able to choose your faction from the base of operations, respec your characters, and that sort of thing. Now, fortifications, not too sure about, but it does look like you'll be able to upgrade the armory and medical supplies in that regard. Now, you also went on to ask about finding a family and deciding their fate and stealing their stuff. Now, they said that they really want you as an agent being a good guy. They're really unsure about you killing NPCs. They so far are really sound like, no, that's not going to be the case in The Division. It sounds like you're going to know your enemy. You're not going to really be able to have the option of choosing your enemy. I hope they offer more freedom in this regard if they're going to go after the survival aspect of the game, because it would be fun to have a little bit of freedom and maybe, you know, have players as the bad guy. I think it would add that extra fun factor to the game since it is open world, and I do believe a part of the experience for open world gaming is choice and consequences. So maybe, just maybe, we will see that in the game eventually. But for now, they really want you to be the good guy. And here's a good one. I got 2 upvotes, and Super Dre 88 goes on to ask, will we be able to play stealthy? For example, if I go into a dark zone, and even a non-dark zone, will I be able to hide from other players, but still move around the areas? Now, previously we did see some stealth from a gameplay demonstration. It was real quick. It showed him sneaking up and then grabbing the guy and performing a stealth move in that manner. From what I understand, stealth will play some sort of role in The Division. Now, when it comes to dark zones, I'm not too sure. I really don't think they want stealth to be the big part of the Dark Zone experience. It would be a little bit confusing to go into a Dark Zone and not knowing if you're entering a stealth game or if you're entering a PvP type game. I think they really want you to know as a gamer what you're getting into when you go into Dark Zone. They want you to be in conflict, I would think. That's what I think is going to be happening. They want you, when you step to Dark Zone, to be like, oh yes, we're going into PvP, guys. We're going to kill some people. I think that's what they want. They want the Call of Duty and Battlefield players interested in that regard. So, yes, stealth will be a part of the experience, but I do expect it to be more in the actual co-op and the single-player portion of the experience. And when I say single-player, it's you still require an online connection, but you can play this game solo. So, stealth in the single-player and the co-op experience, and then I think Dark Zone is going to be where you clash with other players. So I'm still looking at this calendar here. You can find it in the description below. It's showing that Ubisoft is going to be at GDC 2015 talking about the Division. I am so excited for March 2nd through the 6th. I'm really, really hoping they show us something really, really good during that time. So guys, look forward to more news and updates right here at Open World Games. We're on YouTube. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and of course twitch.tv/openworldgamer. And then, of course, we're still doing our Xbox One and PS4 giveaway. You can find out more about that in the description. But guys, once again, thank you for watching. Please like and share the video if you enjoyed this. It helps out a ton. But I will see you guys next time.
Alright, the store was empty. I heard that gunfire. Nick, check your map, see if there's anything in the area. That police station's going critical. Let's head up that way.